Hello, hello, everyone. All right, so let's see here. Let me share my screen. Little impromptu hangout here. About a week ago, I posted this on Twitter. Said, "Hey, everyone!" Basically, mark tweets that have been ignored by Flat Earth with this hashtag. And so I was just curious today if anybody had actually done it, and it looks like people have. So this will be the first time me looking through the list, and you guys will get to look through it with me. I'm sure it'll be a lot of fun. So let's see what we got here. Oh, somebody else has told me, or some. Yeah, actually, I already like this one. Let's see. Ignored by flat Earth. Why can people in both South America and Australia see the same stars? That's a really good question that is always ignored by flat Earth. Amazing. All right, let's see what else. Oh, same thing. Pretty much the same exact one that gets ignored. What the heck is that? Commercial? Let's see. Where your observations actually support your claims. What's he talking about? Let's see what Simon's talking about here. This is a whole thread, dear God. What was this even talking about? Nice screen name. My goodness. Uh, da, 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 da. Oh, they're basically asking um, why you can't see different sides of the moon on a flat Earth if the moon is traveling over to the top of you. That's what it sounds like. And of course, that's ignored by flat Earth. Why wouldn't it be? They can't answer that. What's this one? Oh, why are the posts getting smaller and the sun is not getting smaller? That's a really good question. Why doesn't the sun and moon get smaller as it moves away from us? Of course, a lot of flat earthers will blatantly lie and say it does. We've seen that trick with the solar glare. Can't do the same trick with the moon. I mean, well, you can if you really overexpose it, but if you can see details of the moon, um, it's the same size when it's overhead as versus when it's at the horizon, and it's always ignored by flat Earth. The total absence of any published and reviewed research into anything flat Earth related. That's a really good point. Of course, all the science journals are completely owned by the Illuminati and Masonic Freemasons from the planet Nibiru who have lizard alien slaves. But yeah. Let's see what else is here. Hey, I see Movie Vertigo in the chat. Hey, Movie Vertigo. I actually went back and looked at your Star Trails video recently. Pretty awesome. Flatardia is a magical place, says na 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 na. All right. What else? Steve was never able to refute star trails in the southern hemisphere, not supporting his claim that stars prove flat Earth. Easy win for the globe. Ignored by flat Earth. Yes. This is a common theme among flat earthers. Just simply ignore the hard questions. And that speaks directly to their intellectual dishonesty. If they can't answer these questions honestly, then they have no basis for believing what they believe. And yet they will continue to believe so. Why is that? Hold on. Got to cancel a phone call real quick. Actually, I might have to take this phone call real quick. Sorry about that. I'll be right back. Sorry about that, everyone. Okay, let's see. Let's see if we can find. Oh, here's one. What? Let's see what this one is. Got to go back and look at the tweet they actually ignored. I'll just go back as far as yesterday, where you claimed you'll be able to explain Southern Star Trails, but then didn't. And they can't explain it. Oh man, it's amazing. And they ignore it over and over again. And then they'll start another thread when people actually do explain their memes and stuff. Here's one by Movie Vertigo. Sunsets due west on the equinox. Yes, correct. Always ignored by Flat Earth. Say it with me, guys. Another one by Movie Vertigo. Geostationary satellites time lapse. Oh yeah, you can actually see geostationary satellites staying stationary in Star Trail time lapses. Which Movie Vertigo? I'll have to give a shout out to Movie Vertigo. Has some amazing Star Trail videos. One of them's even well, actually, I think there's a couple, but I know of at least one that is a 360 video of Star Trails. And very impressive. I was very impressed with that video when it first came out. I guess almost a year ago now. How's Movie Vertigo? Let's see. The angular size of the sun remains constant throughout the day. Yes, always ignored by Flat Earth. Although the southern celestial pole is hidden below the horizon in the northern hemisphere, you can still see the star trails rotate around it when looking south. Also ignored by Flat Earth. Let's see. What? This person got blocked. Some of the comments in these threads are hilarious. I have no idea about this one. I'll have to go look through it, figure out even what they're talking about. Oh. Did the Earth forget to rotate during this series of photos? Oh man, these guys, they are really, really dumb. They're either really dumb or they're like intentionally playing dumb. I still, to this day, I have no idea. The bums are the ones that waste their time and have no passion or goal, but intends to show negativity. Ignored by Flat Earth. I don't know what that one is. This is another one about the sun getting smaller as it sets. And of course, that's always ignored by Flat Earth. Oh, yeah. Kesey saying, even though people create these videos that are obviously full of lies or just doing poor math or poor science, that just gets completely ignored by flat earthers, especially the sheeple. Simple and verifiable facts. Let's see. You can literally visit Antarctica yourself. You can visit the border if you pay a lot and hang out with the guy who watches you. Oh, and he links adventure consultants. Interesting. I need to look at that. Yes, the existence of Antarctica and people that actually go all the way across Antarctica solo trips. I can't remember the guy's name now. There was a guy just recently that was going. He was hiking all the way across Antarctica by himself. That exists. I mean, people do it, and you can too if you want to. You just have to basically fill out all the paperwork that says you're not going to trash the place and you're going to pick up after yourself, and then you can go. And that is ignored by Flat Earth. Tanker ships. Let's see, what does Daniel say? We can see directly across the ocean surface far further than the globe allows that alone proves it. You are in the rapidly growing minority, my friend. If they think we are the minority, they are delusional. No, we cannot see across the ocean. Tanker ships have been caught by many, many people now. This is a great example. Look at that. Wolfie's caught something like that too. And look how sharp this horizon is. Wow, that's a really good observation on that day. We were just looking at some of Tim Osmond's observations, had really sharp horizons. Getting sharp horizons like this is very hard for me. I have to wait till fall and winter conditions. Even during the fall, I get a lot of mirage, just because it just stays hot here in Louisiana for a long time, especially the water. But during the winter, it gets to be really good conditions. We can see this clear obstruction, of the horizon of ships and stuff. You cannot see across large bodies of water, and it always matches to the globe model within reasonable refraction limits. There are very rare conditions where you have looming, very, very rare. And in those conditions, you can see further, but even so, you still can't see forever. There still is obstruction further away. So let's see here. Yes, and these are always ignored by Flat Earth. This will always be called something else, fake, CGI, whatever you want to call it. You can go out there and live stream it from your drone if you wanted to, and they would call it fake, because we all are somehow magically superior at CGI than even, Disney studios. Hold on one second. And I'm back again. Sorry about that. Keep getting interrupted. Let me look at the chat real quick before I get too far along. I think most flat earthers are mostly pose. I think there are definitely some pose. That's obvious. But there's people out there like Nathan and Riley and D Marble. Those guys, I don't think they're pose. I think there's something else. Some of them might be delusional. It might be a psychological issue, but I think a lot of them, quite honestly, are just doing it for clicks. I don't think they really believe the Earth is flat. But there are some people that do, in fact, believe the Earth is flat. I don't know why. After all these years of us just shoving evidence down their throats. But you really do have to be, practicing a large dosage of personal incredulity to just ignore the thousands of images that have come out in the last 2 years of people showing obstruction and curvature everywhere. So, hey, Movie Vertigo. If you said hello to me and I just didn't see it, hello, Bullionator and Movie Vertigo, Adam. Thanks for visiting, guys. Thanks for watching. And let's continue with Ignored by Flat Earth. Let's see. It's amazing how many people have actually marked their posts. I didn't think it would catch on like that, but some people are actually doing it. That's cool. If they keep doing it, then I'll just keep doing these videos, especially if we could find some like really good ones, really funny ones, and easy to read ones. If you guys would like comment to the direct claim, that would make it easier. Blocked yet again by Flat Earth. Couldn't handle simple questions regarding claim. As per typical Flat Earth SOP, any simple challenge gets ignored. That is correct, Simon Green. They just ignore it, which is why I said let's just mark them all ignored by Flat Earth so we can just point out all the things that they ignore over and over and over again and eventually start new threads making the same stupid claim. What is wrong with these people? What's this one? Some type of calculations. So they must be talking to someone who's blocked me. Because I don't see the whole thread here. What's going on? These Twitter threads are always messy for me because I had so many flat earthers block me. It's hard to tell which one, who's talking to who. Let's see. What is this one? Commercial. Last tweet, ignored by Flat Earth. Let's see. Oh, here you go. Yeah, I remember this thread now. Nice typo. This is the height of irony considering we use a formal reasoning process and you guys just wish things were true. What am I talking about? Oh, shed the programming. Yeah, I was actually responding to shed the programming. It's so funny when they say stuff like that. What programming? I'm using a reasoning process called the scientific method. Like I'm reasoning through things logically. You are just blindly claiming BS that doesn't make any sense. And that is ironic that he would post something like that. And then, yeah, there you go. This guy just calls me a fraud over and over again, saying I manipulated images. Well, no, I didn't. What? Yeah, see, he's wishing it was true exactly. And of course, they respond to him. I must have put ignored by Flat Earth before he actually ignored it. See. When Sally puts out videos or an image, it's debunked. That's hilarious. Okay, just for a record, Flat and Stationary or Rock Row 11. No one has debunked a single one of my videos or photographs, and they can't. It's impossible to debunk reality. It's impossible to debunk photographs of reality that came straight off my camera and on a live stream, or straight off my camera, uploaded at a coffee shop. How many live streams have I done now? I mean, it's ridiculous. These guys are just fools. Yeah. All right, let's see. Oh, good. Yeah. See, this is a good way to do it. If you're going to mark it ignored by Flat Earth, this would be very, very easy for me to read here. This just turned into one more comment that is totally ignored by Flat Earth, where Kesey retweeted it. In Skiba's videos, to make the sun disappear without shrinking, he pulls it back on the other side of the lens as the observer. To make a skyline disappear bottom first, he pulls the observer back from the lens. Oh, this conversation has too many replies. I can't even look at it. Oh. Oh, yeah, there's this other guy, this Sal guy, created a new Twitter handle called uSoundly and unsoundly at uSoundly. And then he took my avatar and wrote on top of it. It's hilarious if it wasn't sad. Apparently that type of stuff is okay with Twitter, by the way. You can spoof other people's channels, you can take their avatars, you can take their photographs, whatever. So Twitter just doesn't care at all what people do. They let them do it. Here's one I marked. Has anyone noticed that Sal completely ignored my point that the atmosphere and therefore its effect is not static? This absurdly obvious fact completely destroys his pet fantasy, so it is ignored by Flat Earth. Yeah, they always talk about refraction or convergence or all these. I started calling them perspective or magnification, atmospheric magnification. They make up all this stuff and then don't ever realize that the atmosphere is not static. You can't go to a place that has a mirage today and go back tomorrow and it look exactly the same. As a matter of fact, within an hour or two, the mirage changes. So if there is a consistent shape or consistent curvature, which I film in all weather conditions, all seasons, during the day, even at night, and the curve is consistently there. That can't be explained by an atmosphere which changes dynamically. Anyway, the effects of refraction on these types of observations um, are typically very limited in um, standard conditions, like normal conditions. If it's not some looming conditions or sinking conditions, just normal everyday conditions. The little mirage line or whatever is a fraction of a degree. It's tiny. They just ignore that over and over again, that the atmosphere is not static. This isn't the northern hemisphere, therefore ignored by flat Earth. That's so true. Actually, I know, what telescope is this? I recognize this one. Somebody in chat knows what it is. All right, let's look at chat real quick. I can't see any curve from here. Pounds per square inch of the container is pushing. What? I must have missed all that. I'm trying to catch up here, but I'm not seeing it. Flat Earth is a religion. Weight, which is a function of gravity. I don't understand what I can't see any curve from here means. They're talking about air pressure, pounds per square inch of the container is pushing on. What? Air pressure doesn't require container. Anyway, yeah, okay, this is another thing that's actually ignored by flat Earth all the time. That if we're in an enclosed system, so if we're like inside of a tire or a dome or whatever, if you measure the air pressure inside of a tire, the air pressure is the same everywhere inside of the tire. Same would be true for the air inside of a closed container like a dome. The air pressure would have to be the same everywhere. We know for a fact, and anybody can easily verify, that the air pressure changes with altitude. And therefore, we have a pressure gradient. That pressure gradient is due to gravity. There's no other explanation. Flat earthers have no explanations. And this is something actually I'd like to point out as well, is that flat earthers do not have explanations. Actually, let me pull this up on a separate thread right here. Let me see if I can find it in my media. Let's see here. I have this little scientific method graphic I like to share. And I just want to point something out real quick. So we always start off with a set of observations. You make specific observations, you collect all those together, recognize a pattern, and then you create this broad generalization, right? We use induction to do that. We say, okay, in all these instances of this observation, we've seen these things that are similar, so we're going to create this broad generalization, which is induction. That's that type of reasoning is induction. And then you use that broad generalization to form a theory or a model. And flat earthers, quite literally, this is any type of formal reasoning has to go through these basic steps. But we have the one we use these days is called the scientific method. Of course, the scientific method is just an umbrella term, which kind of encapsulates formal reasoning in general, because every scientific endeavor is not always going through these same exact steps, and sometimes there's more steps. But this is the basics of it. And so flat earthers quite literally have not been able to get from observations to a broad generalization. They have no theory. They can't even get past the observations. They don't know how to reason, plain and simple. That's all there is to it. And the first thing they do is they see one observation and they go, up, it's flat, boom, straight into the rabbit hole. I mean, that's what a lot of them do, right? And then some of them do try and create theories, and their theories always break down, and they always end up in this rabbit hole right here. And then they try and create tests for this crappy theory. They create this test. I mean, for them to even get to here, we're talking like globebusters types or flat Earth core types. You know, their hypothesis gets rejected. A perfect example of that is globebusters bought this ring gyro to see if it would detect the rotation of the Earth. And so, of course, their theory is there is no rotation of the Earth. So let's make a test. Our expected hypothesis is the ring gyro will not show rotation of the Earth. So they test it. Their hypothesis gets rejected because it did, in fact, show rotation of the Earth. And instead of going, oh shit, our theory is crappy, into this invalidate theory area, right? What did they do? Post hoc hypothesis modification. It must be the ether. Boom, straight into the rabbit hole. That's what these guys do over and over and over again. They don't know how to reason. They don't have the ability to have a formal reasoning process, understand why that's important, understand why that's better than just willy-nilly fantastical hopes and wishes. You know, if you can't reason from observations to theories and then test for that theory, if you can't do that, then you can't show that what you're saying is true, period. There's no other way to do it. Or not even saying that it's true. You can't show that what you're saying is probable, you know, the most probable thing. Like, especially with induction, right? You got to be careful with induction, but you have to be very clear what you're talking about and very specific, because you can be too general or too broad. And then you know, when you actually use induction and things become too broad, a good formal reasoning process will go, okay, let's test a theory that all swans are white. And eventually you get to start testing your hypothesis and you find this instance of a black swan. Hypothesis rejected. Your theory is rejected. That's good reasoning. Yay. Okay. Guess what? All swans aren't white. But then you can say that, you know, you can use this induction to say that if you have a swan, it's in North America, the probability of it being white is, you know, X percent. And then that becomes a good process and you can build good theories off of it. They don't understand that. They have no idea about that. Because when it comes down to actually making your test, this is all deduction right here. Either yes or no, or we don't know, one or the other. Actually, that's not on here, a null result. But yeah, long story short, flat earthers need to learn how to get from here all the way through, you know, to actually one of these two statements. Is your hypothesis supported or is it rejected? One or the other. Because every single one of their tests, if they could even make it to here, will reject their theory. Because they don't have a formal theory that can explain reality. It's not possible. That's why they don't have a model. The reason they don't have a model is because there is no model that can explain all the observations of reality except for the globe. Anyway, back to reading Ignored by Flat Earth. Let's see, next one. This is a photo ignored by Flat Earth. Oh, that's brilliant. Oh, that's Earth. Yeah, look at that. How does that happen? You know, how did the sun rays go below the cloud and create shadows into the sky? It doesn't make any sense on a flat Earth because the sun's supposed to be above the clouds. It shouldn't be possible. I've got one here from yesterday, totally ignored by Flat Earth. Yes, I like the way Steve linked it here. Can any Flat Earth proponent explain why smoke from this fire north of me at Salt Ash would be visible on Himawari 8 images? Exactly. Yeah. So in order for Himawari 8 to be, you know, some CGI fake, they have to know about everything that's happening on the planet, which is impossible terrestrially. I mean, I just saw an article yesterday that some guy flew a drone over some tribe in the Amazon that was completely detached from civilization. Like we don't know everything that's going on the Earth terrestrially. It's not possible. It's just too much territory to cover with instruments and sensors and cameras and stuff. We can't know all that stuff. I mean, if you look at the Pacific Ocean, how large it is, there's no way a Doppler radar from the land can know about the storms in the Pacific Ocean. Like, we have to have satellites to see that stuff. There's no other way to do it. So yeah, calling Himawari 8 fake is ridiculous, and explaining how it can know about everything on the Earth is completely ignored by Flat Earth all the time. What's this one? Oh, he said gravity is observable and measurable in response to somebody else talking about gravity not existing. And of course, that's completely ignored by Flat Earth. Why wouldn't it be? What? Do you believe that many hundreds of people currently living and working on Antarctica are simply lying? People like, and he tags a bunch of people here. We'll see who these people are. Robert Schwartz, scientist at the Geographic South Pole. And Kate Dillon, doctor currently living in Antarctica, working for British Antarctic Survey, interested in emergency and expedition medicine and dogs. Oh, how cute. So he marked some people here, an astrobiologist, and who's this? He's at Scott Base, Antarctica for winter 2018. So yeah, so he asked this question, and basically they sidestepped the question right here. That's why he's marking it ignored by Flat Earth. Interesting. Let me look at the chat. Let's see. Soundly, come and greet the destroyers of the flat hearth of Brazil. Let me see what this is. Sebastian. Sebastian, we've spoken in the past. Oh, I see. Everybody jump over to Sebastian's chat and say hello. Hello from the Soundly fan club. All right, Sebastian. I dropped over there. Said hello to him. All right, Steve Bowman, how you been? My GPS works in Northern Ontario, but my phone and radios don't. Interesting. Yeah, it's amazing that GPS works even when there's no cell tower. It's amazing how that works. Sebastian, that's a nice comment. My channel is now a world reference to destroy the flat Earth. You know, I really appreciate that comment. I wish it were true, but I mean, somehow, Simon Dan is able to get 45,000 subscribers in a couple weeks, and I've not been able to get far past 2,000, unfortunately. So it's amazing how many people I run into that are in these flat Earth groups on Facebook that just have no clue about my channel. And the first thing they do is Google Soundly Debunked, which is exactly why those guys put out those videos that say Soundly Debunked, because they want to live in their fantasy world. And unfortunately, it's hard to get my material out there. It's hard to get the really good stuff that proves that I've jumped through all the hoops and answered all their objections. And they still can't come up with a reasonable explanation. And what I was just telling Tim yesterday was that 7 months ago I left and people were still saying the horizon always rises to eye level, water's always flat. And of course, there are still people to this day, like Dell, that still say that. But a large majority of the flat earthers have come around to saying, well, yeah, of course it looks curved. And of course the horizon drops because of perspective or convergence or some other excuse that they have to come up with, basing it on the atmosphere, of course, that is causing this curvature. Anything but the Earth actually being a globe, but it looks exactly like a globe, and it's not variable, right? It doesn't. This type of curvature that I'm recording is not variable, and I wish I could get that out there. I wish I could communicate that to these people, but man. There are two physicists there in the Hangout of Brazil. Let me see here. I wish I could speak. What's Brazil? Portuguese? What do you guys speak there? Brazil. Yeah, Portuguese. I wish I could speak Portuguese. I do have a little bit of Spanish background in my blood, but not Portuguese, unfortunately. Even though I know they're similar. Daniel Lazari, thank you for subscribing. I appreciate that. Oh, wow, that was from the Brazil channel. Oh man, I cannot read Portuguese. I have to throw this through the translator. I should just I should drag this over to the other page so you guys can see what I'm doing. All right, so I'm in the Brazil video now that Sebastian sent me over to. I've got to open up Google Translator for this. Translate. All right, detect Portuguese to English. Detonates to flat land with videos made upon strain. Yeah. Lucy Yugi. I have to translate. I should have wrote that in Portuguese too. Oh well. They'll translate it. Oh, that's pretty cool. I guess I have to learn how to speak Portuguese. Okay, so I'm kind of crossing streams here. Let's see. Let's go back to my guys. So Sebastian says there's two physicists in there. That's cool. Who was this guy? Why do you name yourself? I can't see any curve from here. It makes the chat so confusing when people are responding to you. Oh man. Flight times. Hey, I can't see any curve from here. Flight times do not work on a flat Earth. Sorry. We've already shown that a bazillion times. It's one of those things that's ignored by flat Earth over and over again. How many times do we have to show you guys that the flight times are shorter than they would have to be on flat Earth? That the flights actually exist, people actually recording on the flights. I mean, it's ridiculous. It really is ridiculous that we have to repeat ourselves over and over and over again. Sometimes we think that you're probably somebody like Anthony Riley on a sock account just coming in here to troll, because we've said this so many times. Like, or do you only watch flat Earth videos? Is that all you do? Because if you watch anybody else's videos about this, it's been demonstrated. I mean, Wolfie6020 is the perfect resource for this. He's a commercial airline pilot and he's a flat Earth debunker. Go pay attention to what he's saying, because he'll set you straight on all that nonsense. All right, so let's go back to ignored by flat Earth. Man, there's a lot of them. There's a lot of ignored by flat Earth ones in here. Couldn't handle simple questions regarding claim as per typical flat Earth SOP. Any challenge gets ignored. I already read that one, didn't I? Let's see. Am I actually back too far now? Why is this in ignored by flat Earth? It's weird. Okay. Bigly ignored by flat Earth. Oh, yes, the ping pong ball. So if you hold a ping pong ball up to the moon, you'll notice that the ping pong ball and the moon are in the same phase, which means that those light rays from the sun are parallel. So explain that, flat Earth. Explain that. Breathing crypto. Ah, yes, we already saw this one. The sun does not get smaller along with the power lines. Same one. All right. Oh, he saw. Okay, so Unsoundly is saying I meant 100 miles, no curvature. He's talking about this video. Kisi says, yeah, it's not true. Yeah, this is what they constantly do. They keep using that 8 inches per mile squared thing. They don't take observation height into account. This is always ignored by flat Earth. It has to be intentional, right? That's why people are saying that they're lying. Because how many times have we showed them the correct calculations? I mean, Mick West created a calculator. I created a calculator. I have a video on the math. And my math is completely different. My math is based on trig and solving a couple different equations to get back to it. So my math is completely different than Mick West's math, but they're equivalent descriptions to the same problem. And both of them come up with an obstruction height, which is equivalent, and they could use either calculator. And then there's also Walter Bislin. Walter Bislin has a calculator that takes refraction into account. So they just completely ignore it. They want to use that 8 inches per mile squared because I guess it's simpler for them mathematically. I don't know, but they don't trust Masonic, Illuminati, Space Lizard math. I like to also point out that Nathan Oakley does not know how to convert kilometers to meters. And then you have Awake Souls, who doesn't believe the Pythagorean theorem works. The Pythagorean theorem has hundreds of proofs. It is a deductive, we know for a fact it does work because we've deductively proven it type of proof. Like this is knowledge, like absolute knowledge. Like we know it. This isn't like a best guess. This isn't a theory. This is deductive proof. That's the realm of mathematics. Mathematics is the realm of deductive proofs. And deductive proof is we know for sure. There's no guessing. There's no opportunity for it not to be true. And these are the people that are being followed by flat earthers. People that don't believe in the Pythagorean theorem. It's amazing. All right, let's go back to ignored by flat Earth. Tools anyone can use. What? Some of these are hard to find. It's really hard to see what they're trying to say is ignored by flat Earth. I don't quite understand this one. Must be talking about this. Oh, yeah, that's what he's talking about. He's talking about all this public data and information on how to do surveying and geodesy, training and education. Look at that. Information provided for anybody and stuff to teach you so you can self-train basically on how to do these things. Those things get ignored by flat Earth. Oh, looks like I've already gotten back to my tweet. That's weird. There's more underneath it. I don't know how they order these things. What is this that I marked? Oh, yeah. They always want to talk about the curvature being some fluke of the horizon, but my observations are different than just, photographing a city over the horizon or
a boat or whatever. My observations actually show the entire process, you know, the entire length getting to the horizon. And that's a great circle. You know, we're looking at right here. So at the 1.2 mile marker, there's a left turn in the bridge, slight left turn. It's so slight that you can't see it like when you're driving on it. But regardless, once you get past that 1.2 mile marker on, this is the east side of the causeway from basically the South Shore. And once you get past that from here all the way out, this is all following a great circle route right here. And so this curvature right here, this waterline curvature right here is completely ignored by Flat Earth over and over again. They want to talk about the bridge. They want to ask, you know, say the bridge is turning to the left, turning to the right, that it's curving up and down. But all that can be completely ignored. And just look at this water line right here. The water line is absolutely curving. And that is the surface of the water. So, you know, it's completely ignored by Flat Earth over and over again. Instead, they'll just call me a liar. Something else ignored by Flat Earth here. This guy's a concave proponent. Interesting. Kesey is talking about the moon again, it looks like. Yes. Seeing the different face, we've already talked about this. The different face of the moon is a prediction of any flat Earth model that has a moon flying over the top of it. You would see different faces of the moon, depending on where you were on Earth. This is completely ignored by Flat Earth over and over again. All right. Looks like that's pretty much it. So maybe we'll make a thing of this. We'll see if people keep marking it. Here's a new one by David Fulton. Yep. There is a pressure gradient, which cannot happen if we're inside of a dome and gravity wasn't a thing. That is completely ignored by Flat Earth. We just spoke about that a little while ago too. All right, that's pretty much it, guys. I just wanted to go over ignored by Flat Earth stuff. I guess we could look on other channels. I'm not sure if can you mark YouTube? Let's see, can you mark YouTube or can you search YouTube comments? Is that possible? Ignored by Flat Earth. Let's see. That's the only one upmarked. I'm not sure if you can actually search YouTube that way. I wonder what Google would have to say about it. Let's see. I'm guessing these are the ones that probably, yeah, this is my comment here. Yeah, must be it. All right, so we'll see what happens with this. So just mark, if you see a tweet or you see maybe Facebook comments or something. I'm not sure how I could search on Facebook. I mean, I guess it could. But if you see anything like that, just mark it ignored by Flat Earth with that hashtag, and let's see what happens with this. It'd be interesting, really interesting to see what happens. But I am on Twitter for my YouTube followers. Highly suggest getting on there because I do post a lot of photographs and argue with these nimwits pretty regularly. And I will be this fall and winter going out and making observations again. Might not be doing it as much as I did last year, but I'm hoping to have better observations because I know when to go now. I've kind of got a better idea about weather and when's a good time to go. And also, I'm planning on getting a P1000. When I get a P1000, I'm going to try and live stream from the Marriott sometime this winter. Me and my wife will get a hotel room in the Marriott on the Causeway side during the winter. And I will try to live stream from there with the P1000. And the P1000, in case you guys aren't familiar, is the successor to the P900, and the P900 had up to a 2,000 millimeter equivalent lens, and the P1000 is supposed to have up to a 3,000 millimeter equivalent lens, which on a bright, shiny day will, in fact, outperform my telescope for raw magnification. It still will be interesting to compare the final images, though, because the P1000, even though it has a 3,000 millimeter equivalent focal length, it's still only 16 megapixels, and my Sony A7 attached to my telescope is a 42 megapixel image. Now, the difference will be that the Sony A7 attached to my telescope, I can't quite get the focus pinned down on my telescope. So I'm curious to see if I can get similar images with the P1000, but better clarity. And that's what I'm hoping for. So we'll see. Now, these nighttime shots, like the nighttime shot you see right here, that nighttime shot, which I actually have in my Google Drive here. These nighttime shots like this one, that shot can only be done with my Sony A7 because it needs a very, very sensitive sensor to be able to pull those type of shots off. There's not a lot of light to work with. So I end up with some really cool shots from that Sony A7. I don't think the P1000 is going to be able to do that because they're still working with a very, very, very small sensor and a very small ISO range. They're really pushing the limits of physics, to be honest, with that P1000, because you can only fit so many pixels into that small little sensor they have. So you really have to have a super bright day. Otherwise, you're going to end up with a lot of noise. And I'm sure it's going to suffer from the same low light level issues that the P900 does. Although there was some time lapse features on it that did do long exposure time lapse images. So I might actually be able to get some shots at night. We'll see. We'll see. One of the cool things about the P1000 is that they do have a focus ring now. So when you put it in manual focus, you can manually tweak it just with a focus ring. So might actually be able to pull off some manual shots with long exposure to get some cool stuff like this. We'll see. But this shot right here is basically equivalent to a 3,000 millimeter. I mean, it started off as a 42 megapixel image, which I cropped down on, and it's, you're not going to be able to see that in general. It takes a lot of work to get that high level of magnification and very good seeing conditions, which even though this image right here looks grainy and looks a little blurry, it's because you're looking through 24 miles of atmosphere. Of course, it was during the winter and the weather conditions were perfect. Seeing conditions were perfect. And that's why you see this really sharp, hard horizon right here. But it's very hard. It would be very hard to actually get a very clear shot, like I was standing right next to it, of this building from that far away with any camera. I don't care how sophisticated it is, because you have to fight the atmosphere. But I'm going to try. I'm definitely going to try this winter. So, guys, thanks for stopping by. I think that's pretty much it. So I'm going to look at the messages one more time, make sure I didn't miss anything here. Let's do a little pop out chat, drag this down over here and see what's going on. Let's see if I missed anything. Is Unsoundly a flat earther? Absolutely. Yes, he is. His other screen name is Sal something. Let's see if I can find it real quick. What is it? Let me go to my notifications. Should be able to find it there. Let's see. Where is this guy? I haven't seen Unsoundly in a while, so I'm not sure where he went. But yeah, Unsoundly is this. He's actually this other guy named Sal who just took to basically spoofing my avatar and my name. Let's see. Where is it? Come on. He's usually always in here, just blowing people up. Maybe he blocked me or something. Where is he? He's usually all up in this thread. Well, that's very weird. I don't know what happened to the guy. He's in here somewhere. Anyway, his name's Sal, and he's basically running two different Twitters, maybe more. Who knows? But we know for sure it's him because he says it in the description for Unsoundly. Let's see if I can find Unsoundly. I wonder if I'm blocked. That's interesting. Let's see. Might be. Let's see. He says right here, see, scientific serpent slayer, but my friends call me Sal. Well, the other guy's name is Sal too, and I forgot his handle. It's Sal something. He might, you know what? I bet he actually has retweeted one of his own tweets. Let's see. Tweets and replies. Yeah, I don't know. I wish I could show you the other guy's screen name because they're basically he's the same guy, and we know he's the same guy. He's admitted he's the same guy. But he only created this account to stalk me, basically, pester me. But he ends up liking and retweeting his own tweets on his other channel. It's pretty funny. Anyway, long story. Okay, let's go back to reading the comment thread here. Let's see here. Soundly like from Argentina. Oh, you're from Argentina. Is that what you're saying? You must have been responding to what I was saying. I'm not quite sure what you meant there, Sebastian. Weak Souls was hilarious. Just kind of reading through to see if anybody was talking to me. Yeah, Philip. Yeah, I thought it was a good idea. I didn't know it would catch on like this, though. But I kind of feel like if we can actually narrow down like all the things that they ignore over and over again, we can only talk about those things. You know, just don't talk about anything else except for that. That would just be awesome. Whoa, what happened? There we go. P1000, yeah, it's going to be awesome. Thanks, Bullionator. Watch enough of Flat Out's videos and you may begin to question your sanity, though. I've actually debated Flat Out. Do you guys remember that? Flat Out Hero? Is that who you're talking about, John Michelson? I debated Flat Out Hero, and he was like smoking his bong on the debate, so I ended up unlisting it just so it wouldn't be on the channel. Oh, what an idiot. Skyfly Bry. Hello. Let's see. Guy the Incognito, schooled by echo chamber. What does that even mean? I'll have to look that up. 24/7 live stream. Yeah, I'm actually thinking that I might start up the 24/7 live stream again. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what I would put on there at the moment, though. I mean, the other stuff's kind of stale now. People got tired of watching it. That's the reason I shut it down, is just because I didn't have time to maintain it while I was working on my work projects. And no, I realized nobody was really watching it anyway, so just turned it off. Oh, John Michelson says, no, the flat out. I'm going to have to look that up. All right, thanks, John. I'll check that channel out for sure. Just open it now, another tab. Go back here. Oh, hopefully it doesn't start playing. Okay, good. He doesn't have an intro video. All right. Oh, yeah. Flirt for education. Yes. School back echo chamber. Oh, that's hilarious. Okay, I'm back down to the bottom of the thread. Did I miss anybody's message? You have about 30 seconds to let me know if I missed the message, or you want to ask a question that I didn't answer before. I could have easily missed the message, so just let me know. Okay. I'm not sure how long the delay is either. But I'm going to go ahead and shut it down, guys. As always, you can reach me on Hangouts or Gmail. My Hangouts is the same as my Gmail, which is soundly7@gmail.com. It's also in my About section for YouTube. You can use the same email for Skype. Of course, I don't get on Skype very often. Every once in a while, I'll pop into Discord. Jim Panda's Discord. And that's about it. I mean, you can reach me pretty much email or Hangouts. Hangouts is the best because I always have Hangouts up and running because I use it personally, and I have use it for personal stuff and for work. So if you want to ever get any of my imagery, if there are any videos in particular that you want to get like source material for, or anything like that, or maybe context or anything like that, you can always reach me on Hangouts. Always happy to do a quick hangout with someone and like talk about context of different imagery. So just let me know. I will be trying to get some observations, and we'll be, once I get the P1000 in, I'll be doing an open box video and doing some like just test runs with it in my neighborhood or my lake or something like that. So until then, I will see you guys later. Thanks for stopping by, and please remember, mark all those tweets or messages or whatever with the Ignored by Flat Earth hashtag, and we'll try and do this again. Thanks, everyone. Bye.